Hi everyone, it's Howard the Condo Man, and today I'm going to talk about some of my favorite older buildings. Older being more than 20 years old. My criteria is reasonable maintenance fees, still somewhat modern looking building, and really good amenities. So, I'm going to talk about two buildings on the west side, two buildings on the east side. First complex, no surprise to anyone, seeing as I lived there for maybe 10 years, and I specialized in those buildings at first. 361, 373, 381, and 397 front, which are also known as Matrix and Apex, built by Concord ADEX within City Place. What do I like about those buildings? Well, even though they're more than 20 years old, maintenance fees are still very reasonable, and they include hydro. The building still looks modern. They redid the lobby, both lobbies. They redid some of the amenities. By the way, they're getting a new gym in a couple of months. It's going to be spectacular. They have a half court basketball court where there's dodgeball, volleyball, ping pong. They also have a ginormous pool, one of the biggest indoor pools that I've seen in any building. They've even got a spa. I mean, that's a great building to live in, and it's right on Front and Blue Jay Way, running to Spadina. So for a building that's that age, you really should check it out. People are, they're mature now. Certainly not a wild demographic. A good place to call home. Next set of buildings on the west side is called Water Clubs. So Water Clubs is about 20 years old now, and it was built originally by Lanterra, if I'm not mistaken, and then Coulter, a Florida builder, bought it from Lanterra. She may have been the other way around, but it's irrelevant. So I think it was finished by Lanterra actually. What makes water clubs unique? Well, first, they've got an indoor outdoor pool. So what happens is they've got this nice outdoor pool with almost a garage that can open and close. So in the wintertime, obviously they close it and it becomes an indoor pool. But you can still see the waterfront, you can still see the deck. Pretty cool. Water Clubs also has a great sun deck. The location's fantastic. There's a Starbucks right underneath. You can cross the street and be right on Queens Quay. You can get to Center Island. Again, it's 2 minutes away, the actual ferry. The gym is great in Water Clubs as well. You're surrounded by grocery stores. So you've got a Farm Boy across the street. And my favorite grocery store personally is the Longos on the north side. You can even walk to Union in 5 minutes. Maintenance fees are really good, especially at 8 York and 208 Queens Quay. 218 Queens Quay is a little bit on the higher side. I strongly recommend checking out water clubs. Also, a more mature demographic, like doesn't mean senior citizens. It just means that people aren't partying all the time and waking you up and noise complaints and craziness. It's a good place to live. So strongly recommend it. Uh, Now I'm going to move over to the east side. So the first building that I'm going to mention is built by Tridel, and the address is 313 and 323 Richmond. It's called the Richmond. The building is about 25 years old now. They redid the lobby. It looks great. Actually, one of the agents at my brokerage has been living there for 20 years. Facilities are great. Location's still a little bit suspect, especially when you go north. It's more than suspect. But when you go south, when you go east, it's great. It looks almost new in the lobby. So they've got a fantastic gym on 2 floors. It's got great free weights. They've got a half court basketball court, which is pretty neat. And they have one of the best rooftops in the whole city. It's got, I'm guessing, 8 barbecues. It goes all the way around. It's got a great view, and it's got 2 hot tubs. There's one hot tub on the roof, and there's one hot tub in the changing room. Good demographic. Most people have been there for a long time. Really, really cool place to live, and great maintenance fees, including hydro. It's one of the best maintained buildings, I would say, in the whole city. So I strongly recommend checking that building out if you want to be on the east side. My last east side building is, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's certainly cool and unique. So Merchandise Lofts, which is 135 and 155 Dalhousie. Merchandise Lofts was an old Sears warehouse that they converted into a condo building. It was one of the first conversions in the city, actually. I remember when they were first selling it. And it's got the main lobby, like as if it would have been at Sears. And then you go to the elevator. It feels a little bit different. Every unit feels very lofty. They have 12 and 14-foot ceilings, and a lot of them have these pillars, like giant pillars, that actually look kind of cool. So, what do I like about merchandise lofts? When it first got built, I thought the maintenance fees were high, but now the maintenance fees are starting to seem very, very reasonable. Um, Actually, one trick in merchandise lofts is not to buy parking. The parking increases the maintenance fees almost $200, and not owning parking is almost the same price. Renting parking is almost the same price as paying maintenance on parking. So, if you want to keep the maintenance fees low there, just don't get a unit with a parking spot if that's possible. It has a great old school hardcore gym, exactly the style I like. It's got bodybuilding posters around. It's got a power rack and a Smith machine, and I think it's my favorite condo gym personally in the city. It's got a nice basketball court where there's also badminton. It has a rooftop outdoor pool, which was very unique at the time it was built, especially for a true loft. You never see that. So I think that's pretty awesome. You've got a Metro grocery store underneath the building. It's right near the Eaton Center, right near the subway. And one really neat thing about merchandise lofts, and actually I would say the same thing about the Richmond, there is a sense of community. People know each other at merchandise lofts, almost like you're living in a neighborhood. Same thing at the Richmond, but I would say to a lesser extent. By the way, this is inside information that you can only get by selling a lot of units and knowing people that live in the buildings and being around for a very long time. But there is very, very much um, the sense of everybody knows each other, everybody knows what's going on, and people care about the building. So I would recommend checking out merchandise lofts if you want to be in that location and you like lofts. It's wonderful. Anyways, if you have any questions about those buildings or any other buildings, feel free to text me 647-892-6636 or email me howard@howardthecondoman.com. Have a great day.